Morgana Roberts, the Kissing Bandit, is an exotic dancer and comedian who rose to fame during the 70s thanks to numerous public stunts where she took to the stage at notable baseball games and quote-unquote stole kisses from famous players. Though this series of stunts caused some trouble for the well-endowed comedian early on, it eventually made her a famous millionaire. Join Factsverse as we explore the truth about Morgana Roberts, the Kissing Bandit. Morgana Roberts has always had a love for the sport of baseball. This love was born from the time her grandfather took her to see a game when she was young. Morgana developed such a connection, she even met the man who was to become her husband at a baseball game. She was 22 years old when she met future husband Bill Cottrell at a World Series game, and the two are still married all these years later. Because of Bill's shared love for the game, he never got jealous when his wife would later take to the field as the Kissing Bandit to snag kisses from some of the game's most famous players. Morgana was born to a fairly poor family. Her mother was named Jane, and she disavowed Morgana when she was still very young. Because of this, the young girl ended up being raised predominantly by her grandmother. After staying with her grandmother and being taken care of by her for 6 years, Morgana was sent to a boarding school called Mount Mercy Catholic Boarding School. This was in Louisville, Kentucky, her hometown. Morgana didn't enjoy her time there and ran away from it a year after starting at age 13. She then hitchhiked with one of her friends to Baltimore, where she lived homeless for a period of time. During this time period, she subsisted off of scraps from local shop owners, as well as food she foraged out of dumpsters behind local restaurants. She would have worked a traditional job, but she found out she was too young to receive a work permit. After a month of living homeless, Morgana saw an advertisement that would change her life. It was a poster that had been put up by the Flamingo Club seeking exotic dancers. The poster dictated anyone interested would have to be above 18. Morgana wasn't quite sure what an exotic dancer was, and she wasn't 18. But she was desperate for work and decided to give it a chance. She ended up getting a job at the Flamingo Club by lying about her age. It wasn't until her first performance that she learned what an exotic dancer was. She had been unprepared for what the job would require and wasn't aware she had to bear it all before the audience. When the rowdy audience of the Flamingo Club began shouting at young Morgana to take it off, she reportedly broke down in tears. The head of the Flamingo Club saw Morgana had broken down into tears on stage and took the girl to the back to give her some slight coaching. Once Morgana realized why the crowd had been shouting at her, she came to terms with what the job demanded. After that, she didn't have much of a problem bearing all in front of the audience. In fact, she became quite successful at it. By age 17, Morgana had become one of the Flamingo Club's most successful exotic dancers. As she grew more comfortable on stage, she began to incorporate comedy into her routine. Eventually, she became just as well known for her comedy as her provocative dancing. One of her most memorable comedic routines at the time consisted of a fairly spot-on impression of film critic Gene Shalit. All throughout her incredibly problematic early days as an exotic dancer, no one questioned her age. This was due to the fact that she had lied about it, as well as the fact that she had become supernaturally busty at a young age. By the time she was 12, she could pass for 18 in the eyes of most people. Thankfully, workplaces nowadays would require much more stringent documentation. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Although Morgana Roberts, the Kissing Bandit, had become known early on for her large breasts, she's always been adamant she's never been a true sex symbol. Instead, she's always considered herself simply a well-endowed comedian. To her, her breasts are nothing more than stage props that she can use to get a laugh. One of her favorite jokes was to say her bras had to be custom-made by the same people that put together the domes for stadiums. Of course, Morgana has since become much better known for her days as the Kissing Bandit. Morgana's career as the Kissing Bandit began in August of 1969. On a dare from one of her friends, Morgana took to the field at a baseball game and kissed one of the players. The game was at Crowley Field in Cincinnati, and the player she kissed was Pete Rose. Pete memorably didn't have the most positive reaction to it, but tracked her down the next day to apologize about his negative reaction, even giving her some flowers. The incident was written about in Cincinnati papers, and that's when Morgana was officially given the nickname of the Kissing Bandit. Morgana took to the name and decided that kissing baseball players could be her new career. Over the course of Morgana's time as the Kissing Bandit, she was said to have kissed nearly 40 Major League Baseball players, as well as dozens and dozens of players from less notable leagues and other sports. She also kissed managers, umpires, and even owners. On one memorable occasion, she even kissed the San Diego Chicken. As she gained fame as the Kissing Bandit, she was eventually able to make somewhat of a career out of it. But the pastime didn't come without its share of dangers. Not only was Morgana injured multiple times while performing public stunts as the Kissing Bandit, but she also got into legal trouble on several occasions. Morgana has shared she was arrested and charged with trespassing somewhere around 20 times over the course of her career. And she was injured multiple times while jumping from the stands, and even hit by a pitch once when on the field. She's also had several violent run-ins with security guards. When it came time for her to stand trial for her crimes in Houston, her lawyer argued that Morgana was far too small to present a threat to the players. He also claimed that her original kissing incident had occurred without prior intent, with Morgana's heavy bosom having caused her body to fall onto the field by accident. Morgana's body had an overall weight of 112 pounds at the time, 15 of which were made up of her hefty breasts. Although she certainly got into some trouble, the career choice paid off for the comedian in the long run. She's made millions of dollars thanks to her time as the popular baseball character. The Kissing Bandit also proved profitable for Major League Baseball, with appearances from Morgana sometimes doubling profits at games during the height of her fame. Morgana's monetization of the Kissing Bandit character led to her getting her own set of baseball cards, and she became a part owner of the Utica Blue Sox during her career. She was given her own line of snacks by Carolina Fine Snacks, and she even has her picture featured in the Baseball Hall of Fame. It memorably shows her trying to kiss Frank Howard. And although Major League Baseball originally considered the Kissing Bandit a nuisance, teams eventually took a liking to her, both for her incredible good looks and for the fact that she helped increase attendance. Nowadays, she's 74. She's been retired from her career as the Kissing Bandit since 2000 and prefers to take it easy now. She's still with her husband, and they live together with their dog in Ohio. Before retiring, she made an appearance as herself in the cult comedy Kingpin, released in '96. It was directed by the Farrelly brothers and featured Bill Murray. With all the millions of dollars Morgana made during her years as the Kissing Bandit, she's likely living the high life in retirement with her husband and dog. Now it's time to hear from you. Comment down below to share if you wish you could have had a kiss stolen by the Kissing Bandit. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.